one of the type of propaganda that I've basically identified is there's a thing that I call history tangent propaganda. And from watching a bunch of videos having bad faith actors being exposed online, I notice a thing that they often do where they often disguise propaganda by going, like, mentioning something about history. And they go, oh, back in the 1800s and this thing, and we had this thing with these people and that people, and blah, blah, blah. And at the end, they end up, like, working in some sort of, like, talking point. So it's just like, I call it history tangent propaganda because it's like they're intentionally going into a tangent about history as filler, just to make you think that they're speaking facts. And someone that I know even went, oh, this person that I liked, they often talk about history, and because it's history, you can't disagree with it. And it's just like they were halfway there, but they didn't connect the dots. And it's just like, yeah, that's the kind of the point and the deception in it. They mention history to make you think that they're speaking facts, but they're just molding the facts to spread a fake propagandistic, message or an idea, like, innit? And disguising it with history is kind of the point. That's kind of the deception. The person I was listening to was talking to didn't make the connection that they're deceiving you, and obviously they're deceiving you if they have to go on like tangents of history all the time. Because one of the examples is that, if you look back in history to hear this time and that time, and then they go, socialism has failed wherever it's been tried, and it's the deception is it might have failed, like, wherever it's been tried completely, right? They don't say the word completely; they say wherever it's been tried, not where it's been completely tried. And that's having like government having more control over who gets and what people don't get. But socialism is working in multiple different places in the world. We have the NHS. It might be national healthcare, but it's the same type of thing. That's partial socialism. You can, like, there's social democratic countries in the world. And some of the best places to live in the world, like, say, I think is it Finland, is like poll wise and is said to be like the best place to live in the world because they take the best care of their citizens. And the Nordic countries are either socialist or they're social democracies. And social democracy, it can be anything up to 50% socialism and 50% capitalism, or it can be partial socialism with mainly capitalism. And it also includes like well-regulated capitalism to stop like corruptions taking advantage of people, and regulations to make things safer and stuff like that. So just like try to be wary when people start talking about history and going on a massive tangent, because you might be listening to some history tangent propaganda, and it's a highly effective version. It's kind of a very effective form of propaganda that a lot of people fall for, especially if you don't follow like anti-corruption, left politics. If you don't watch like proper liberal experts, you're not going to have the media literacy training skills to recognize that you are falling for history tangent propaganda. Another example of history tangent propaganda is where they go, the whole political correctness thing was actually used in Soviet Party Russia because the government was controlling what people can and can't say. But then, so like they say like, back in 19 whatever, like, 18 whatever, and then then they basically so basically what they're basically trying to do is they're trying to say, oh, Russia bad. They're saying like Russia bad, mixing it with history, and then because you think they're saying historical facts, you think, oh, obviously everything that they're saying can be trusted. But what the person doesn't tell you is, it was actually like the Marxist, Leninist, socialist type people using it against the Soviet Party of Russia because they were controlling and dictating what people can and can't say. But that's the government. Like political correctness in the modern day is having ethical wording and make sure you don't say bigoted or discriminatory stuff to offend people and to piss people off. And, so like this is another example of history tangent propaganda, which is, clarify, they go on some tangent, some long dialogue about history, and then they just end up saying socialism bad, Russia bad. And so that's how the propaganda works. History tangent propaganda. Watch out for it. Be wary. For more propaganda debunking, tips, and media literacy, accidental training, like and subscribe. Don't like and subscribe.